Welcome to the 4th edition of the Journal's That Was the Week That Was show. Our attempt to try to keep you up to date on what we believe is a decent summary of the happenings here. The coronavirus pandemic has resulted in school closures and more in the Highlands area this week, just to name a few problems. Let's get started. When times get really tough, what can you expect? Scams. Lots of them. Highlands Community Bank President Brian Thompson came by the Journal studio on Monday to talk about them.
Emails to individuals.
And phone calls.
And they're trying to pretend to be somebody they're not.
I'm your long lost grandson and I need $5,000.
Exactly. They'll also be asking for personal information, account numbers, social security numbers, and those type things. And I just want to let you know, a bank is not going to call you and ask for your account number or your social security number or any other type of information like that. We already have it. We don't need to ask you for it. So do not give that information out. Do not send someone money. We're also seeing it through charities, people pretending to be charities.
Many events and meetings were canceled this week, but the Allegheny County School Board had some business it had to deal with and met this Thursday. Here's board member Danielle Morgan offering some good common sense attitude.
Upon the evolving journey we all have embarked on together of unknown territory, COVID-19. I personally have not experienced anything like this, even professionally as a nurse. And I realize that the uncertainty around it from day to day is what's driving the fear, panic, in some cases hysteria. Although I don't have any answers to share with you, I would like to encourage each of you to focus on what you can control versus what you can't. You can educate yourself on the facts. Use reliable sources of information such as the Virginia Department of Health, the Centers for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization.
Allegheny County school officials want an upgraded weight room and training area for the Allegheny High School. But when the bids came in, the lowest one was nearly double the projected cost. Time for Plan B? Perhaps. It was also time for school board member Jacob Wright to cuff the architect a bit. Watch.
The best way is to say no, modify the project a little bit, and resubmit for a couple reasons. One, the economic dynamics have certainly changed in the past 30 days. And then also it gives us a chance to review the project once again and see if we can work it in that we get everything we want out of it at a price that we prefer.
I will make a motion to scorn the architect and reject the bid and give Mr. Truitt an opportunity to revise and
Plan B.
Plan B. Yeah. Okay. So
Allegheny County Superintendent of Schools Eugene Katulka told his school board about the hard work of school employees recently.
We need to be proud of our staff, how hard they've worked, and the things that they have done. They have owned this since day one, and it has been an awesome operation to see what our food service employees, our transportation employees, and our maintenance and custodians have done to make sure this has happened. The first day, and I say this, it brought tears to my eyes to see how they owned it and how hard they've worked to make sure our kids are being fed in the community, and that'll continue. Also, our volunteers that have come in there have been great. We've had 2 or 3 people assisting with the buses and going out on the road, and I encourage you, if you want to go with us one day, 8 o'clock in the morning, come on out, help us. It's such an incredible amount of good people that we have. It just is an awesome thing.
Covington Mayor Tom Seibold tried to reassure the city's staff and thank them for all the extra work they've done this week. And then, City Manager Crystal Onitis gave city employees some additional assurances about their jobs.
We need to really recognize the city employees and all their hard work and the pressure. You know, we have people concerned about their jobs. They don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next, and we need to make sure we're getting a clear message out to where we're at and what we're doing.
Mr. Bryant and I have been working through to ensure we are putting processes in place so that employees, should anyone get sick, that they do not, for whatever reason, should they exceed FMLA time or have no time accrued, or if they're part-time, anything like that, that they do not lose their position if they actually get COVID-19 or have to care for someone that has COVID-19. Because it's an unprecedented public health issue that we've never really dealt with before. So we just want employees to know that we're going to hold your spot for you.
The Covington City Council finally came to an agreement with the Department of Environmental Quality on what is known as a consent order. Due to some overflows into the Jackson River from the city's wastewater treatment plant, the city was assessed a fine. To offset the cost of the fine, which was a little bit more than $60,000, the city agreed to do a project on Dry Run. Mayor Tom Seibel was concerned about how all this would come down, but the net cost to the city as a result of all this is going to be about $6,000. Watch.
There is a civil penalty that was assessed based on the fact that we had numerous bypasses. What we have been able to do is come up with a supplemental environmental project rather than just writing a wholesale check to the state to say, you know, we want to also take an opportunity to make ourselves better. So we came up with a stream restoration project down near Dry Run, where that culvert is all clogged up and there's a lot of soil erosion, so we'll work to address, I think up to, it's either 700 or 1,700 linear feet of Dry Run Creek. And we are actually using that to offset the cost of the fine, so it's reimbursable. And not reimbursable, but it becomes a wash in that end.
The third bullet says that the penalty will include a civil charge of $6,400 and some change.
Because you're only able to count up to a certain point of your percentage of your project towards your fine. So you can't write off the entire fine.
And thanks very much for joining us for this fourth edition of That Was the Week That Was. It's an abbreviated one because not that much was happening. Everything was canceled or closed. But the Highlands will get back to normal in the not too distant future. And we certainly appreciate your readership and viewership.